Welcome to Phoenix Uprising. I'm your host, Candace Paroli.
And I'm Jenna Zolkowitz.
Each week, we're bringing you real, unfiltered conversations about beauty, wellness, business, and the messy, magical process of rising from life's challenges. Think of this podcast like having coffee
or a gummy
with your girlfriends, the kind of friends who keep it real, give you solid advice, and cheer you on when you're ready to reinvent yourself.
That's us, two women who have walked through fire, rebuilt from the ground up, and are here to share the tools, insights, and stories to help you do the same.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, a beauty lover, a wellness seeker, or simply someone craving inspiration and transformation, this podcast is for you.
Join us every week for bold, soulful, and empowering conversations that will help you rise higher, personally, professionally, and spiritually.
Welcome back to Phoenix Uprising. I'm your host, Candace Paroli.
And I'm Jenna Zolkowitz.
Today, we are talking about the language of the universe, all about synchronicities, numbers, your dreams, signs.
Yep.
Jenna and I have a lot to say about these things.
We do.
We have these synchronicities on the daily.
Yeah. It's something we're both pretty passionate about, and it's a big part of our lives.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're into this, if you're into the woo, you're going to enjoy this episode.
Yeah. We're definitely into the woo.
Yeah. So how long do you think you have been getting
Okay. So I can tell you exactly.
synchronicities?
For me, it's been 3 years, and I know like exactly when it started and how it started. I know for you, it's like completely different. Mine was like I had a spiritual awakening, and it was September of 2022, and I met a psychic, and she kind of changed my life in one day and exposed me to all of these things, and I was really never the same. But it really all started then. So I've been on this 3-year journey, and just the way I am, like I became like obsessed with this stuff. And so it's happened quickly, but yeah, 3 years. So yours is completely different though.
Right. So, my whole life, since I was a little kid, I have had different psychics tell me that I have intuitive gifts. And I knew I always did, but because I was raised in a really strict Italian Catholic family, I was raised to believe that was, bad, and I was going to go to hell.
And that's really common. People push it away and they lose their gifts.
Right, but we believe in the evil eye, so that there's somebody designated like in the community to take the evil eye off of you. So we believe in that. So it was kind of like a lot of hypocrisy. But so we lived across the street from this woman who was from Greece, and she was a psychic, like a true psychic. She had the gift. And she told me when I was 6 years old that I did have the gift. She literally told me everything that was going to happen in my life, like about like my marriages.
And so far, how accurate has it been?
Spot on.
That's insane.
Yeah. And then when I grew up, we moved away from her, but when I grew up, I ran into her when I was 21, the day before I went to Jordan for the first time, the country. And I was dating someone who was from there, and she grabbed both of my hands and she was like, "Do not go over there. He is going to cheat on you. He is going to try to control you. He's going to try to ruin your life. He's a bad person."
And you listened to her and didn't go, right?
I was like, the hell? I'm getting on that plane. I'm going. I was so excited. Like, I never thought that my life was going to take me there. And I was like, no, I'm going. And yeah, pretty much everything that she said happened with him. But anyway, like, fast forward, every time I would try to ignore I would always see things before they would happen. Or I would have dreams. Sometimes I would know when someone was about to die, and I know that sounds awful. And I would try to ignore them, and I couldn't. And then I just decided I'm not going to feel ashamed of this anymore, and I started to secretly explore it on my own. After my life just was like in shambles.
Explore that now.
Yeah. And so I had more psychics after that tell me that I had this. And when I decided to really hone in on it, like those gifts got stronger because I wasn't suppressing it anymore.
It's like a muscle. Like if you exercise it, it gets stronger.
Right. So now, I should also like mention that I was very close with my maternal grandmother, and she passed away when I was 24. Yeah. And that is probably when I decided to like hone in on all of this. And I've always been able to connect with her. And whenever I do like speak to a psychic, she always shows up during those readings.
So you've really been working on this for like 18 years.
Yeah.
So you're like really far ahead of me. Like
yeah. And now I'm not like I can sit here and talk about it. My family's aware of it. Yeah.
Like being friends with Candace, like you do have the gift. Like that you are very intuitive. She will tell me how things are going to go, and I'm always annoyed because it always is how she says it's going to be. She's really never wrong about things.
But I won't say that to just anyone because I know that not everyone is capable of receiving.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's a lot for people. So I would only like give that information to somebody that is comfortable with receiving that.
It's like when it's the news I don't want to hear. When you tell me that, I'm like, fuck. It's going to be what she says.
Yeah. But I mean, I even know when it's going to be bad for me too. So, and I wish it's like it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a gift and a curse. Yeah, there's a lot that comes with knowing these things. I mean, I don't have it like you do, but I do have like a knowing about things, and I've always had that. And even that, like sometimes I just know things and there's no real explanation for it. It's just a feeling. And when you say this to someone at first, they don't want to hear it and they think you're being negative. And I've had this my whole life. And it's like, I told you that was going to happen, but like they weren't ready to hear it when I said it, Right. And it can be a very difficult way of having to live.
Right.
And you have that even much stronger.
Yeah. And I think now, because I have decided to, I guess, be more focused on it, I'm more energetically aware of other people. So I can't be around a lot of...
Yeah.
It's not that I can't be... like, crowds are fine. Or, like, going to concerts and stuff like that are fine. But there's just certain types of energy that I automatically can't be around.
Yeah. Neither one of us like small talk. Like, we're not good with that kind of, like... energy, and like certain energies just repel me and I can't do it. I just will get quiet. I can't.
Yeah.
I want to leave. If I can't leave the situation, I just shut down and get quiet.
I feel like I see right through bullshit immediately.
Yeah.
Like when someone has a facade. So it's very hard for me to fake around a person.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and I just, like, I'm now at this stage. I just can't. I just refuse. I can't do it.
Yeah. So, Jenna and I had this conversation, I think maybe yesterday, where I'm perfectly okay with having, like, a really small circle of, close friends and my family. just because it feels a lot more genuine and safe in that sense, because the energy is not being disrupted. And I know, like, if you guys do, follow us, on social media, you do see a lot of like the goofiness, and this is probably like an entirely different vibe, like seeing and hearing us like this. But this is like the deep side of us, I guess the more serious side.
A more serious side since I've had a spiritual awakening, since that started, people have been removed from my life. And this is
for good reasons.
Yes, for good reasons.
Yeah.
And it's an ongoing pattern. And it's only started 3 years ago.
But do you think it's because like your guardian angels or God or your spirit guides are looking out for you?
100%. Yeah, like, so my life has changed enormously in the last few years. But absolutely, and I think that's because I'm on a certain path now. And this is probably a whole episode, but yeah, that's been a big part of it. People have been removed from my life just because, like, they're not a fit for me anymore.
Do you feel comfortable with telling everyone some of your most powerful signs and synchronicities that you get?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty cool, and she gets them on a daily basis, and it doesn't scare you.
Oh, no, I love it.
Okay.
I'll give you, some, the basic overview, and then I have, a couple cool stories. So on a daily basis, I get angel numbers, which is very common. I see 4s, I see 1s, but just I'd see 888, 333, and they all have different spiritual meanings, but I see the 4s and the 1s. I get a lot of messages through songs, and certain songs will be played if I walk into a store. Sometimes my radio just turns on out of nowhere. I get a lot of communication that way, which we'll get into. But I get a lot of synchronicities too. So it can be something very random, but I'll get 2 or 3 people in the same day mention the same thing to me. I'm like, well, that was random. You all mentioned Teddy Grahams or something,
right? Something
very random.
Like how? Because none of these people are friends.
Yeah,
right.
It's out of nowhere. And so here's a couple of the biggest things that have happened. A cousin of mine, we were estranged. We didn't talk for years, and I had no plans of ever talking to him again. And I started seeing his birthday everywhere, and I truly would see it everywhere. I'd be watching a movie, it would be on the alarm clock. I'd be driving, it'd be on a street sign. I'd look at the clock, my eye would randomly go to the clock, it would be his birthday. It was constant. I couldn't ignore it. This happened for literally a year. And I could not ignore it anymore. It seemed like the universe, whoever, wanted me to reach out to him. And it was this overwhelming feeling of something I never had any plans of doing. And so I finally did, after a year of it not stopping. And I reached out to him on Instagram and was like, hey, I bet you didn't expect to hear from me. And, I just wrote him this message, and he wrote back a couple days later, and he was like, I thought about it and went back and forth if I wanted to open this communication back up, but I do. So and we met for lunch, and it was, long story short, we've been in each other's lives now for a year and a half, and it's been the best decision I've ever made. We have this amazing connection and relationship now, and it's literally, I only did it because of the numbers.
Was this after your mom passed?
Yes. Yeah. So so my mother passed 3.5 years ago, which 6 months before my spiritual awakening. I truly think a ton of the stuff that has happened is from her.
Encouraging you guys to reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you believe, your spirit guides, your angels, the ones you've lost, but I think she's truly, I think she's behind that, and you guys need to talk again, and it's been the best. And
wow.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of the coolest experiences I've had.
That's so interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, that was my next question is, do you believe that signs come from a higher power, your higher self, or both?
That's interesting. So, it could just be our higher selves. There's different ways of looking at it, and do we really know?
I think it's both.
Mm-hmm. You feel a lot of your signs come from your grandmother.
Absolutely.
And and I feel a lot come from my mom. So that would be, you know, loved ones that have passed.
Yeah.
But, you know, some things I just think are like the universe itself, like pushing me in the right direction. And that could be our higher selves.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably a mix.
So, speaking of signs, there's something that happens with my grandmother and I that is not very common with people. It does happen. Not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's one of the sensations is smelling. So I can smell her. So I can either smell her perfume that she used to wear, or I get a whiff of like what her house used to smell like when she was cooking.
That's wild.
It is very, and it's like nostalgia, and so it kind of pulls at your heartstrings when I like get a whiff of that, and it will happen at the most random times. So this was probably like a month and a half ago. I was walking at the park, and then I had to go to the store right after that. This perfume isn't even sold in stores anymore. It's that Picasso. I think it's I showed you the bottle. I think it's by Fendi. I can't remember. It's like that black, and we'll have to bring that up.
Right here.
You cannot just like go to the store and buy it. I found it on Amazon, so I could explain this to Jenna. But anyway, I'm walking into the grocery store, and this older woman is walking out, and I just get this whiff of the perfume, and I'm like, oh my God, Graham. Like, you have to understand, like, I haven't smelled that in years. Like, this is not a familiar scent that you would just, like, Chanel or you know what I mean? Like, people just don't have this perfume anymore. And then I, like, am standing there in the walkway of the grocery store, like, just looking at this older woman walk back to her car because I'm just stunned. And I like, do I go and talk to her? I'm like, no, that's weird. So it caught me off guard.
And when these things happen, they're overwhelming.
Right.
You feel it in your body. Like,
yeah. And then this was in the summer. I told you about this. I was still dating someone, and I was cleaning up the kitchen after I made dinner, and I was putting the pots and pans away. I was there by myself because he had to go somewhere, and I got this huge whiff of my grandfather's cologne. And again, this is going to sound so goofy. This is another one that's like it's not like readily available in stores. It's that Jupe.
Oh, Jupe. Yeah, my dad had that.
And like no one's in the house with me, and like the guy didn't have that cologne either, and all of a sudden I'm just randomly smelling it. So it's like, oh, hi Pap, like you're here with me. So yeah, things like that would happen.
I get a lot of songs, and it's from my mom. Like and this has been happening for quite a while, and the most extreme instance of this happening is last year my family was meeting to have dinner for Easter, and went to a restaurant, and I parked my car, and I had been listening to CarPlay, listening to something, whatever it was. And the way CarPlay works is like when you turn off your car, it can, like, the screen will stay on, it'll continue playing. So I parked my car, I turned the car off, and instead of the song continuing to play, it suddenly, everything goes black, and it switches to a different song, but then the album artwork changes to another song. So there's one song that my mom, like, had been sending me for quite a while, and I, like, associated this song with her. So that album artwork is playing, but a completely different song is playing, and, I mean, I'm a tech person. Like, I know how things work. It's not coming from my phone. It's not coming from the radio. It's not coming from anywhere. This song was playing out of thin air.
What song was it?
So the song that was playing, it was Pharrell and Snoop Dogg. Beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like, it's like nice lyrics, like you're my favorite girl. You're beautiful. Like, you know, like sweet lyrics. So like that's playing. And my cousin was parked and was going to dinner with us. And I made her get in the car. And I was like, can you please confirm what's happening? We took a video of it. because like she confirmed like the song is playing out of thin air, and the album artwork of the song my mom usually sends me is like right there, and none of it made any logical sense. It was not. It couldn't have. I don't know what happened.
Wow.
It was definitely her sending me a song.
Oh my God.
And like that, you can't explain these kind of things.
No.
No, and I was like, okay, well, you witnessed that. All right, let's go eat dinner, I guess.
Do you ever get scared when you're getting like these signs, these messages?
I don't get scared. It can be overwhelming, and it definitely, like, you feel it. And there's just a knowing along with it. Like, if other people that have experienced this, like, when it happens, it's not just, like, you can't just shrug it off. Like, okay, I felt that. You know, it comes with a feeling along with it. I never gotten scared of you.
No.
Yeah.
No, especially when I know that it's my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll say hi.
Yeah, I'll talk back. I'm like, hey, Mom.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll see, like, her house number. By the way, like, she would, like, play the lottery, and she would hit, like, often. Like, she would play, like, our old house number, too. She was just lucky in that way. Or I would see, like, her birthday. But, like, when I was living in Florida still, and I would, like, walk in my neighborhood, I would see her house number or her birthday a lot, especially when I was going through a really rough time.
I see my mom's birthday a lot. Pretty much every day that I drive, I see a license plate. I'll see, like, my mom's, like, full initials, which I think there's a very low chance of that happening on a daily basis.
Her mom's initials are on my car.
Yeah. And when we were driving earlier, my mom's full initials were in the car in front of us.
Yeah.
With her birthday.
Yeah.
And that's just true. Really a daily occurrence for me. Or I'll see my initials, my birthday. That happens to me almost every day.
Do you ever get dreams that are clear messages or warnings?
I have, but only a couple times in my life.
So I don't, but my ex-husband does. Mm-hmm. And this is actually really common in their family. Like, their messages come to them in dreams.
So cool.
And it's warnings. And this is so bad. When I was going into business with my ex-business partner, he kept warning me that it was a bad idea.
And you once again listened and didn't go into business, right?
Yeah, it's like I have to, like, see for myself. So he kept having the same reoccurring dream week after week. And he told me, he's like, this is a bad idea. Like, he's a bad person. He's a snake. He's evil. And then he said to me, I'll never forget this. He's like, he's going to squeeze you until he can't get anything else out of you. He told me that. The same day that he told me that, I had this aloe plant on top of my dresser. It was fine. It was beautiful. It was perfect. Every single leaf fell off of it after that. It just, like, died. Like, it's like the life was sucked out of it. So when all these terrible things went down, like, years later, I remembered that my ex-husband told me, you know, this from his dream. And I said, and you told me, like, that. I mean, that's like a moment that you're never going to forget.
Yeah.
I said, you even went like this. Like, he's going to squeeze everything out of you until he can't get anything else. And that's literally what happened.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's spot on.
Yeah. But yeah, he predicted that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
And he knew before I told him he was having dreams when I was being, like, stalked and tormented. He was having the same reoccurring dream for 6 weeks. And then he finally called me and said, is everything okay with you down there? I just keep seeing you scared and alone and afraid. Like, are you okay? Do you need anything? And then it was
You weren't okay.
No. I mean, it was beyond terrifying. And I just broke down and I told him what I had been going through. Yeah. And so he saw that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've had a couple dreams, years and years, like 20 plus years ago when my uncle died. I was dreaming of him, and it was like a younger version of him, that, like a young, healthy version of him. And it was really like vivid dream. And I woke up to the news that he had just died. So it was like it felt like he came to me, in that dream. That was a very, very vivid one. Like that was pretty strange. I've had a couple other little things, but I don't really have it through dreams.
Really?
Yeah. Some people, like, that is their number one way of getting those messages. And, like, that our loved ones, like, supposedly, visit us in our dreams.
I feel like I don't remember my dreams a lot, but when I do, they're always very strange or bad. Mm-hmm. Like, it's unpleasant.
Yeah, so if I dream, it's unfortunately, like, usually a nightmare, because I don't dream often either. But my dreams are also kind of like a litmus test of, like, how I'm doing. Like, as I will, like, heal certain traumas I've been through and stuff, it's, like, reflected in my dreams.
When you were, like, first having your awakening and, exposing yourself to, like, this, we'll just say, new world, do you, or even now, do you do anything to help strengthen, like, the connection and your intuition?
Yes. Yeah, I think I do a lot of things. So, like, just having the awareness, first of all, and, like, working on things, and they call it shadow work, but, like, working on the dark parts of ourselves, the things we need to heal, the traumas, like, really working on that kind of thing, meditating, journaling, like, going deep into that, and not pushing it away, not, like, drinking it away, all those things, really working on it. I think that's a big one. Having, deep conversations with people you can have those conversations with, and really going through this stuff and dealing with it. Those things are big for me. Plant medicine is a big one. My intuition has definitely increased since plant medicine, for sure. What else? Going in nature. That's a big one. Yeah, just, like, spending time alone in nature. And just, like, appreciate, when you start appreciating the little things and kind of getting out of, like the busyness of daily life.
The routine.
Yes, the routine.
Yeah.
And, like, just really, like, going deep on that. Is there any other things?
I agree with you wholeheartedly that doing the shadow work, which I think a lot of people want to skip, is so important. I know that when I rolled up my sleeves and decided to do that, because, like, you're getting away that mental clutter, because that's really what it is.
Yeah, like a wash of your brain almost, like.
Yeah, and then it's also your environment, because I love my family, but we don't have to have the same opinions and views, and that's okay. So in order for me to strengthen these gifts and learn more about myself, I had to almost kind of, like, be secluded, which was fine. That's what I needed at the time. And I think
a lot of the things I've listed, like, you have to do them alone.
Yeah.
You the journaling, meditating, walking outside, like, these are alone activities for your brain to get there.
But then I did find a community. I did a really cool feminine embodiment workshop that was, like, 9 weeks last year. And I feel like that helped me learn a lot more about myself, because I also did that during a horrific time in my life. So, things like that too. I journal every morning. I try to do it every night too. I meditate every day.
It may sound silly, but, like, I talk to myself and I talk out loud a lot, and that's kind of like an out loud journaling, but, like, that's really important,
like
too.
a dialogue. Yeah, it's healing.
Yeah.
If someone is listening and they're skeptical, what's one small way they can start experimenting with this universal language, the universal communication?
That's a good question. I mean, we believe like everything is energy, and everything is connected. Just the way you talk to yourself, first of all, is huge. So if you are constantly being negative, if you're constantly talking down to yourself, if you're constantly worried about what's to come, that is what you're bringing into your world. So I feel like the first thing you can try is some positivity. You can try being grateful. Like, that's the language of the universe. Being grateful, love coming from that place. So just asking for, knowing that good things are going to happen to you, and just saying like, oh, I just love that I love my job so much, even if it's not true at the moment. Just putting that positivity out there and asking for good things to happen to you. Like, just putting out that language instead of like, oh, my day's going to suck today. Like, I hate my life. Like, just try the opposite.
Right. I agree with you. So I had a very stressful 2 weeks, as Jenna knows. And I mean, it was really just like getting to me mentally. And I can take a whole lot. Like, I have a pretty high tolerance for the things that I take on. But the other night, like, it just, I was at like maximum capacity. And so I was reminded, I have Roxy Nafausi's books, and she encourages, if there's one piece of advice she could give, if you every night before you go to bed, just make like a small list and think of the smallest, teensiest things, and it can be like you don't think they're that big or that they mean anything, but believe me, like, it'll start to add up, and it's going to change the way that you think and feel. Stuff that you're grateful for, or that was good for you that day. Like, I was able to have a cup of coffee before I went out the door. I am so grateful for my nice, warm, cozy bed. I was able to take my kids to school today. The meeting was not as grueling as I thought it was going to be. And so before you know it, it's changing your mood. And the whole point of that exercise is, if you get in the habit of doing that every night for 21 to 30 days, you'll completely shift your life. So that is another way. If you need something more tangible, if you're a skeptic, if you need something more tangible, that is one way that you can change.
And you can ask for these signs. Ask to see this, like, ask to be given something. Just have a dialogue. That's a big change for me. Like, I have this dialogue daily now. I'm talking to the universe or whoever.
I'm constantly talking to my Graham. Like,
yeah. Sometimes I think of it as talking to my mom. Sometimes I think of it as talking to a higher power, the universe. It's just whatever doesn't really matter. Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not alone. If you do feel alone, you're not alone. Like, whether it's, a loved one that passed on, or we all have angels that watch out for us. So you can utilize them.
Yep.
So until next time, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you. Everyone, have a great day. Thank you.
See you next time.